Hi there, it's a Dutch Master. Welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 speed build. So today I'm building the Autumn family house here in Brundleton Bay. And yeah, this house is sort of a combination between a modern build and a more traditional build, because I wanted to use like quite some items from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack. Of course, because it only just came out and very many of those items are still new to me. And also because that really fits the world well, but at the same time, as you know, modern is the style I prefer to build in. So I sort of try to combine these styles, and normally it doesn't really work out. But in this case, it did work out. In case you're wondering, by the way, what the style of the new pack is, it is sort of more countryside style, or that fits the world, Brundleton Bay at least, and also the items coming with the pack are sort of country style, traditional. So I combined that and also used the new roof tool, so sort of a combination of all the new things coming with the pack that come together in this build. So that's pretty cool, and it was also very necessary because I hadn't done a video in quite some time, or at least especially not a speed build. For some reason I've been just sort of busy lately, or at least I've been doing the Let's build, which worked out pretty well, but then people started saying that it went a little bit too slow for their liking. So I've been thinking about what I should do with the Let's build, and I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking of maybe speeding it up, but still dividing it into episodes, because it is a Let's build, so I still want to finish it, of course, and I definitely want to finish the build, but I'm not too sure yet in what way I want to finish it. So that's what I've been thinking about. And at the same time, I've also been very busy with university stuff and also with SketchUp projects, which I might actually tell you a little bit more about later on in the video, because that might be something you're interested to hear about, maybe, or at least you probably don't know that much about it. So therefore it might be cool to talk about that for once, because that is a reason why I have unfortunately not been able to be super active on YouTube this year, like generally, or at least not as active as I would have liked to be, or as I normally was, but I'll come back to that later on. As you can see here, I'm building this structure with a really cool roof, which is definitely the coolest part of the house if you ask me, because it is like the extended roof, so it's not only stuck to the wall, but it's also going like over to the rest, sort of, which was something we weren't able to do back in the day when we didn't have the update for The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs yet. And also another cool thing is that I've like done a different width and also a different height where like the roof starts, which is sort of hard to explain, but if you're just looking at the video, you're definitely getting what I mean. But that was sort of the idea I had. And then also one of my plans was to sort of make two builds and then combine them, or not combine them, but sort of how do you call that? Connect them using some sort of bridge, which you just saw me doing, or at least which I did quite early in the video already. That is also just a very important aspect of this build, because I thought in that way it was sort of special and something I don't normally do. And in the end, I honestly must say that I think the build really turned out to look cool. Right now you might still be wondering, why is it called the Autumn Family House? Well, the first reason is because we've got very many new trees with the Cats and Dogs expansion pack, which like have the option to color them into like autumn color or fall color if you're American. I believe that's the difference. Autumn is English or British, and then fall is American. Well, in this case I went for autumn, but normally I just combine British and American English all the time, but I hope that doesn't really matter. But what did I want to say? Yeah, what I wanted to say was that with all those new trees, you can like color them and make the leaves brown or red, and in that way it looks like very fall-y or autumny. So therefore I thought, you know, just creating an autumn house, and also it's quite big. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. So therefore I thought, you know, I'm going to add family, because, you know, it's sort of a family house because it has quite some bedrooms. It's not that much, I know, but for my houses, if you know the sizes of my houses, normally they seem big, but they aren't actually that big from the inside. So therefore this is relatively big, and therefore I thought, you know, it's a family house. But for other people who build houses, this might definitely not be a family house because it's too small for that. But I think that's just a small detail which doesn't really matter. So another cool aspect is like the pond in the middle, which I created to sort of in between those two buildings, those two aspects of the build, which in the end comes down or seems to like lead into the swimming pool, which yeah doesn't really fit autumn, I guess, because it's way too cold to swim in autumn. Well, it's better than in spring, of course, because summer has been already, so the water is hotter than in spring when winter has just been. So it depends on the country you're in, but like in autumn in the Netherlands, you definitely not swim outside because it's way too cold for that. But maybe like Australia or whatever, any place where like climate doesn't change that extremely much, you will definitely be able to swim in autumn or fall or whatever. So you can also download this house from the gallery, by the way. You should look for gallery ID Dutch Sims Master, and then you can just put it into your own game and also change it and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, like I said, unfortunately not so many videos recently, but that is because I've been working on very many SketchUp projects, which was something I would still talk about a little bit more during this video as well. So as you know, or you might not know, but then in a few seconds you will know, is that I do SketchUp videos as well here on this channel. Not very frequently, like only a couple a year, but people do like those, and sometimes they even lead into people messaging me asking me if I can design a house for them, because for instance they've got a lot and they've got an idea, but they're not able to like super visualize that into like something which they can go to an actual architect with. So then they come to me, send me an email, and they ask if I can come up with like a cool concept for a house they want to build, which is of course something cool for me as I'm an architecture student. Like this is something I like to do, and it's also like sort of a cool side job for me, and it's sort of getting out of hand because I'm receiving like more and more of those emails, but of course I don't have unlimited time in my life, and at the same time I want to record these videos and also like study at university and have fun with friends, all that kind of stuff. So I have to combine that, and because I've had so many requests for those SketchUp projects recently, I've not been able to upload as much as I would normally do, or at least there was a time where I uploaded like 3 times a week or 4 times a week, and that's just not really been that way recently, simply because those projects have been sort of in the way, but they are super interesting for me to do, so therefore sometimes those have like a slight priority, I guess. Don't worry, videos are definitely still coming, and maybe if ever I'm not receiving any requests for projects anymore, I'll only make videos. But yeah, every now and then it's pretty cool to work on a project like that, because I haven't ever visited or seen one of those builds actually coming to life. But of course, it takes quite some time to build like an actual house. And also it's the internet, so you never know if what they're saying is actually true. But it is still sort of cool to realize maybe ever they will build one of the things I have designed. Even before I am an actual architect, I would have something in like the actual world that has been designed by me. But that might be too much, and maybe it never happens, but it would still be pretty cool if it would. But that's just a slight update on that, and that is also the reason why there has not been so many videos going up on the channel. And also one thing I'm sort of missing in The Sims is like the tropical world. I think if I would have a tropical world to build, and maybe I'd upload even more, because I'd have some more inspiration for builds, because recently I didn't have that much inspiration. But that isn't sort of the main reason why I haven't been uploading that much. It's mainly the fact that I just didn't have enough time, and time is generally something that's sort of hard to manage, because I like super many things, and whenever there's something going on, I'm like always saying yes. For instance, I would never skip like a meeting with friends or something in order to create a video. That's something I've always said, like, or at least it's not even set or arranged with myself, but something logical. I'd never skip friends for like a job, because then like creating the videos would be sort of a job, I guess. And I don't think, you know, the cool thing about having YouTube as a job is the fact that you're like sort of your own boss and you don't always have to do it. And therefore, I've always said, or just never done, like skipping meetings with friends for YouTube. But therefore, if you've got like super many of those meetings and cool things, then in the end, if you're not saying no to them because you want to make videos, it ends up with you not making very many videos. But maybe that's also because I've sort of come into a new part of my life, because I'm like a first year university student now. So like very many things have changed between like half a year back and now. So therefore I'm sort of still getting used to this new life. But yeah, no worries. I'm making videos. I'm doing my best to get as many of them up as I can. But what is important for me is to create good videos. And of course I could upload daily if I would want to, but then I would simply only upload like super bad Let's Builds all the time. And I know I've been doing a Let's Build recently. No worries, that is not only because I just wanted to upload a video. That's also because every now and then I like to do a Let's Build, because they are pretty useful for some people, I guess, and also they're just fun for me to create. But uploading daily wouldn't be like super hard, but uploading daily and then quality content is something that's almost impossible. There are people who do it, definitely, but for me currently in my life, that just wouldn't be possible. But I'm doing my best to get stuff done, and also I'm still sort of discovering or trying to discover something new, because like the Sims YouTube world has sort of been saturated, if you ask me, because there's so much content going out all the time that it's sort of hard to come up with something new. And I'm still thinking, and I have been thinking for quite some time, of like new concepts and maybe new kinds of videos to upload, because in the end that is what is important, because like there's so much content going out that it's like everyone makes Sims videos nowadays, or at least that's almost what it seems like, which is cool, of course, but therefore it is hard to come up with something that is special. Sort of just doing a speed build isn't necessarily special anymore, and also doing a cool, good speed build isn't super special anymore. But I'm curious to hear from you if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see. It could be anything. Then let me know what you would like to see on the channel, because that would help me out. Currently I'm thinking about that by myself, but if you could help a little bit, of course that might actually help like some time, and I'll be able to come up with like a new idea. About the build, as you can see, I have already added those autumn trees by now, and that is super cool about the pack, if you ask me, because now it sort of feels like we've got seasons in the game, even though we don't have them yet. I say yet because I expect they will be coming sometime. Ever in like the Sims 4 lifetime, there will be a seasons expansion pack, I guess, but I don't know yet when, but there have been leaks or like expectations that it might be the next expansion pack. And also personally, I think there are quite some like clear clues to the seasons expansion pack being the next one. Like especially in like Cats and Dogs, there have been some hints, but I don't know anything more than you know about this. So yeah, it's just all speculation. So therefore I'll just not go on with it, because otherwise people might think I know more, even though I definitely don't. I can promise you that. I would like to though, but then making videos would be even harder. Also, when I went to Sims Camp and I knew more about the Sims for Cats and Dogs than I could actually say in my regular videos, because of course there was embargoes on like everything, so I wasn't able to talk about it freely in all my videos. But then if I would be recording a speed build like this, I'm like rambling all the time, as you noticed, like I'm doing now, and then it is sort of easy to start a topic where you can just say things you shouldn't be saying about the pack, because that hasn't officially been announced yet, or we weren't allowed to announce it yet. So therefore it was sort of hard to record those voiceovers every now and then, simply because I sort of knew things which I know you didn't know yet and weren't supposed to know yet. But in this case, there's nothing I know that you shouldn't be knowing. Here I'm creating a fence around the house. That is something I tend to sort of forget often. Also here I only add a fence around like half of the build, which isn't necessarily strange because the other parts are not easily accessible and stuff, but still this is something I often forget, but it does look sort of cool, so I just did it. And the interior worked out sort of well for the strange shape we've got, because the shape is sort of awkward, and of course with that bridge going over it and having two sides, it's not necessarily super convenient, but it worked out in the end, which is good, I guess. Let me see, yeah, here we're starting the kitchen, just a regular kitchen, I guess. What I sort of hate about the fact that, or at least that's something that's been going on recently, is the fact that whenever you build a house with like real roofs, you tend to have to use like the lowest floor type, because otherwise the house will seem way too massive, which is not really the case if you're using flat roofs. But if you're then, you know, using those low like ceiling heights or low wall heights, isn't necessarily a problem, but it is a problem when you want to add windows, because you're sort of limited with the windows, of course, because you can't use the middle-sized ones. And also with, for instance, kitchens, they tend to look super cramped and small, whereas I prefer to like make them big and spacious with high ceilings. But that is just a thing I noticed recently, because quite some of my recent builds have only been like the smallest wall height, even though normally I use like the middle one. I never use the highest one, because that is way too high, or way too tall, I mean. But yeah, you know, that's just a random fact, I guess, a random notice. So I've been trying to use some new items, especially from the new pack. For instance, I added those new doormats and also added the feeding bowls, of course, which I finally know the name of. All the time with videos, I had no idea what they were called, or at least I just didn't come up with it. And then I saw it in the comments once, and I was like, okay, that's it, I should remember it. And luckily I did. So now I know it's feeding bowls, which is sort of like logical, I guess. What I would have liked to see or what I would have liked to see, yeah, that's what I said, right, is more kitchen counters, because, yeah, it is sort of logical, and if they would have added kitchen counters in The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, it would probably be nuts, or probably not be something I'd use a lot, simply because that wouldn't really be the style I like, or at least that wouldn't be modern. But generally, I'm sort of missing new modern counters, because I always like to use counters simply because you can create super cool kitchens with them, which is logical, but still, you know, in case you didn't know, you can create cool counters or cool kitchens with cool counters. But yeah, I sort of used the regular one for this build, which is the black one. And what sucks about this particular set of counters is that they are sort of strangely shaded. So if you're using another color of them, the upper cabinets will turn out way darker than the lower ones, and just way darker than they should be, because there is some kind of color glitch in the game with regards to counters. But I would have expected they would have fixed that by now with the latest patch, but they haven't. But therefore I can only use the black, because then you can not see that they have a shading problem. But if you're using something brighter, it will turn out way darker than the cabinets like below, and therefore it just generally looks strange. But oh well, I guess that's just a super specific Sims problem, which most of you have just not encountered yet. Hey, counter, you know. Okay, I'm stopping. Okay, I will just finish this commentary, but I know that joke shouldn't have been accepted. So here I'm creating the dining area, just some regular items. Like this table, which I used, is actually growing on me. When I first saw it, I didn't really like it that much, but actually it's super cool. And if you would have that in real life, you'd have like a super fancy, cool table, if you'll ask me. And like definitely a table everyone who comes by to eat at your house would be like, wow, that's a cool table. How did you get it? Or where did you buy it? Or whatever. So sort of a special piece of like furniture in your house. Here I had some trouble with the roof, simply because it turned out that something I wanted to do was generally not possible. But oh well, I guess they would have to, or the room needed to be smaller. It was a bathroom, so it doesn't really matter anyways. So yeah, let me know what you think of the video, by the way. If you're still watching by now, I always like to know if you're still watching by now, so let me come up with a word. let's do the good old panda. If you comment panda in the comment section, I know that you've come to this part of the video, which would be super cool. So if you're just commenting panda or whatever and you're commenting with panda, I know that you've actually seen this specific segment of the build. And also, if you're seeing this, don't forget to like this video, because then it will go up the ranking and more people will watch it. And that would be super cool, because then I can actually create more of these kind of videos. So because in the end, you know, if it sort of might sound strange that if more people watch the videos, you will be able to make more of them, because you might think, okay, but you're making it because you like it, so if more people watch it, you like it more. But it is more like supportive, or not. That's not what I wanted to say. It's more yeah, you feel more reason sort of to make videos if more people watch them, which is sort of logical, because the more comments you get, it's for YouTubers, it's super much fun to read comments. So if you're getting more comments, that's just great, and also a reason to create more videos. And of course, extra income is also a reason to make like those extra videos, because you can, and you have a reason not to focus on some other things which you would normally have to earn income with, I guess. But yeah, that's just a reason to just like this video, and generally if you enjoy it, you know, what's the reason not to? Here I created a master bedroom, because this is the biggest bedroom in the house, and I really like those round windows. I added them like in quite some parts of the houses, or of the house. Here you can see it as well in the bridge, and for some reason in this style they look super cool. I won't be able to use them in like modern houses, but that doesn't really matter. It would be cool to be seeing like actual modern round windows as well, because I think we'd be using those a lot as well. But you know, these ones are for like more traditional houses like this one. They're like perfect. And especially in this way, sort of, for some reason, they just created a cool vibe, I guess, or at least it worked out well. Sometimes you create something of which you're like, not really good or something, but this one, if you ask me, sort of worked out well. And then here we've got the bedroom or the bathroom, which worked out sort of well as well. Which is a super strange sentence again. Okay, so another thing I actually wanted to ask you as well is, what kind of Christmas video would you like to see? Because it's sort of crazy, because this year has been going super fast, but it's almost Christmas already, and that means that I will be doing a Christmas themed video, or a couple of Christmas themed videos, because people tend to like those, and I really like to create those as well, because it really gets me in the vibe of Christmas, I guess, which is sort of obvious. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for that, let me know in the comments. And yeah, then this year is almost over. Only 1 month left, exactly like on the day I'm uploading this, because if everything goes well, this will be uploaded on the 1st of December. And then yeah, it's December already, which is sort of strange. Because for me personally, in this year, like super many cool things have been happening. This has like been a crazy good year for me, because I've like finished high school with like super good marks, which I sort of worked hard for, but it's cool to have been able to accomplish that. I've started studying architecture, which I'm liking a lot. I've been doing well with those SketchUp projects. Besides YouTube, I've been going to Sims Camp, which was like the biggest thing on my bucket list. I think seriously that was super high on my bucket list. So it's crazy cool to have been able to do that. And also I've been generally able to travel a lot this year. It was generally just a super good year for me, which always sort of makes me scared for like next year's or upcoming years, because you know, if you've had a super good year, it's sort of hard to have a better one. In case you didn't have a good year, it's sort of not so hard to have a good year the year after. But if you've had like the best year ever, then it's sort of harder to like up that again, I guess, just to get even a better year. But yeah, that's just always my thought whenever it comes like to New Year's Eve. I'm super excited about what the year has been and also what the next year will bring. But yeah, by now we're super close to the end of this video. Here I'm adding a bar and a foosball table, which is sort of just like a relaxation man cave area, or just like a place to like have friends come over. I guess that's just the perfect way to describe it, a place for friends. But anyways, if you like watching this video, let me know. Don't forget to leave a like, and then also don't forget to check out the overview, which is coming in a couple of seconds. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back later.